Hello, my name is Rachel Bratcher, and I'm the Client Relationship Manager at Mercer Wealth Management. Today, I'm going to be discussing your credit score and ways to improve your credit score. When a lender tells you that they're going to pull your credit score, they're generally referencing what is known as your FICO credit score. This score ranges anywhere between 300 to 850. Generally, you'll be told that anything under 580 is considered to be a poor credit score, and anything over 800 is excellent. Most lenders, though, however, will accept a credit score of 680 and above for lending purposes. So, what is your credit score? Your credit score, essentially, is going to tell a lender how creditworthy you are. So, what does that mean? It basically means if we give you money, how likely are you to pay us back? Your credit score is essentially going to impact things like how much is able to be lent to you, as well as what interest rates you can receive. There are three main credit reporting bureaus. That's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. When you think of your credit score, it's important to kind of think of it like a pie. 35% of that pie is the most important, and it's going to focus on your payment history. So, have you paid your bills on time? Have you been delinquent on payments? The next is going to be the 30% of the pie. And that there is really important to remember too, because it's going to look at how much you are leveraged. If you're over leveraged, that's not always a good thing. And it's really going to kind of focus on how much debt you have currently kind of taken on. The next is 15% of the pie, and that's going to look at how long you've been building up your credit score. The longer, the better. The last two sections are both 10% each, and one of those is going to look at your credit mix, meaning where's your credit going? Is it a credit card? Is it a mortgage? Is it a car loan? And then the last 10% is going to look at how many new credit accounts you've been opening. The more you open, the riskier you're going to kind of appear to a lender. So, with that being said, if you know that maybe your credit score is not where you want it to be right now, or maybe you don't even know what it is, we're going to kind of give you some tips on how you can either improve it or just make yourself a little bit more aware about it. So the first part is just looking up that credit score. So with that being said, there are a website related to each of the three main credit bureaus. You can basically log on, you can look at your credit score, look to see if there's anything that doesn't look correct to you, and you can actually file a dispute, which I'll go into more later. The next thing is looking at that 35 percentage point of the pie, your payment history. So it's important to always make sure that you're making your payments on time. Delinquent payments can have a huge impact on your credit score. If something's to go all the way to collections, it can actually stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. And that will be there, for a long time. It will affect you not just for that moment, but for many years in the future. We always recommend to our clients to set their payments up for auto payment. If you prefer not to set stuff up for auto payment, then come up with your own kind of system, put it in a planner, come up with a spreadsheet, put it in your phone. It's important to remember, though, the more you pay all of your bills on time, the better your credit score will become. The next thing to remember is that 30% piece of the pie. So how much debt have you taken on? We always recommend to pay your credit cards off completely at least once a month. Some people will even do it weekly or even bi-weekly. We also don't recommend to our clients to basically move their credit accounts around. Just work towards paying them down as much as possible. It's also a common myth that if you close out, like a credit card, for instance, it will improve your credit score. Generally, that's not the case, so we don't recommend that either. The next piece is, once again, just don't open a bunch of credit reporting accounts all at once. That can often have a negative impact on your credit report. You could become over-leveraged, and it will be a little bit of a sign to a lender that you're riskier. And finally, just driving that final point home, just keeping up with that credit report on a semi-regular basis will be super helpful so you're aware when you're going to apply for a loan about where you stand. So as I alluded to before, sometimes you check your credit report and something just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And believe it or not, this is not super uncommon. 26% of people say that they look at their credit report and something's not correct. So with that being said, a lot of times it's a very simple thing to fix. A lot of times it could be a clerical error, meaning either yourself or the lender wrote your address or email address down incorrectly, so you haven't received a bill. That happened to me. I filed a dispute and I got it corrected. The other concept to remember is that when you apply for credit, always use the same name. So if you use a middle initial once, use the middle initial every single time. This is also important to remember if you've recently been married or gone through a divorce. You're definitely going to want to kind of keep track of that credit report and make sure everything's reflecting correctly. The final thing that you should always kind of pay attention to as well is making sure that things are not duplicated on your credit report, or maybe something's just missing entirely. The good news is these are very simple errors and they can all be fixed. So, as I've mentioned, you can file what is known as a dispute. All 3 major credit reporting bureaus have the option for you to file a dispute. You'll go onto their website, create an account, pick out what you're trying to resolve. It usually takes about 35 to 45 days for them to review this information. And they'll keep you updated via email. And it's important to make sure you provide as much facts as you can. So if you have documentation, if you have something from the lender you can add, make sure you do that. And then you're going to want to indicate exactly what you're disputing and if you would like it removed from your credit report or simply corrected. This here is one of the many services that Mercer Wealth Management offers our clients. So if you or someone you know is suffering from a poor credit score at this time, we're more than happy to sit down with you one-on-one to kind of go through that. Or maybe you just want to find a better way to keep track of your credit score and make sure that everything is simply reporting correctly. Please feel free to reach out to a member of our team to learn more about this service or to me directly, and we'll be happy to set up a one-on-one appointment. Thank you.